What if silence isn't what we think it is? The universe is vast and unimaginably large. There are billions of galaxies, each filled with billions of stars. Around many of those stars exist worlds we have never seen. And yet, despite all of this, the universe is silent. No messages arrive, no signals respond. There are no voices calling back, only silence, stretching endlessly in every direction. For decades, we have listened carefully, waiting for something, anything at all. But nothing answers back. And maybe the real question is not why we have not heard anything. Maybe the real question is why everyone else is quiet. In a universe this old and this crowded, silence feels strange. It feels almost unnatural. Imagine the possibility that advanced civilizations do exist. Imagine that they have existed long before us. But imagine that they do not announce themselves. Perhaps the universe is not a safe place to be loud. In nature, survival does not belong to the loudest creatures. It belongs to those who know when to stay silent. Now imagine the universe as a dark forest. Every civilization is a hunter, moving quietly between the trees. No one knows who else is out there. No one knows their intentions. In such a forest, calling out into the darkness is not curiosity, it is suicide. So everyone listens, but no one speaks. Perhaps many civilizations reached our level of technology. Some may have gone even further, and then they disappeared, not because they failed, but because they were noticed. The universe does not need to be hostile everywhere. It only needs to be hostile once. Here is the most uncomfortable thought. What if silence is not absence, but discipline? What if the civilizations that survived are the ones we never hear from? And what if we are among the few still naive enough to broadcast our location? We send messages into space as proof that we exist. But maybe the universe has already learned something we have not. That survival does not belong to those who ask questions loudly. It belongs to those who wait and watch. The universe is not young. It is nearly 14 billion years old. In that amount of time, entire civilizations could rise, flourish, and disappear without leaving a single trace. Not a monument, not a signal, not even a memory. Space is vast, but it is also unforgiving. Radiation erases, gravity destroys. Time consumes everything. Even our own signals fade into noise after a relatively short distance. From far enough away, Earth is already silent. And that should concern us, because silence does not require perfection. It only requires time. Perhaps the universe is filled with the ruins of civilizations we will never find. Not because they are hidden deliberately, but because the universe is very good at erasing evidence. Stars explode, galaxies collide, entire regions of space are reshaped beyond recognition. In such an environment, survival is not about dominance. It is about restraint. Now consider this possibility. What if the first civilizations to survive long enough learned a terrible truth? That being noticed is dangerous, that visibility invites attention, and attention in a universe you do not fully understand is a risk you cannot control. In nature, prey survives by avoiding detection. Predators survive by choosing their battles carefully. Noise attracts both. Silence protects both. If the universe follows similar rules, then broadcasting your existence may not be a milestone. It may be a mistake. We often imagine advanced civilizations as explorers expanding endlessly, colonizing stars. But that image comes from us. It comes from our instincts and our history. It assumes progress always means expansion. But what if true progress means the opposite? What if the most advanced civilizations learn how to minimize their footprint? What if they learn how to blend into the cosmic background? What if they learn how to exist without being seen? To us, that would look like emptiness. But in reality, it would be discipline on a cosmic scale. Now ask yourself this. If you were part of a civilization that had already seen others disappear, what would you do? Would you announce yourself proudly? Would you send signals in every direction? Or would you learn from the silence? Would you listen instead of speaking? Would you observe instead of revealing? Perhaps silence is not fear. Perhaps it is wisdom. And perhaps the universe is not quiet because no one is home. Perhaps it is quiet because those who are home have learned something we have not. Something about patience. Something about restraint. Something about survival. Silence may not begin with fear, but with observation. At first, civilizations simply watch instead of speaking. They listen longer than they respond. They learn patterns before making noise. They notice which signals disappear. They notice which signals never return. Over time, curiosity becomes caution. Caution becomes habit. Habit becomes policy. Silence is no longer accidental. It becomes intentional. At that point, silence is no longer weakness. It is survival. Every civilization must choose between being known and being safe. Most choose being known. Very few choose being safe. Those few tend to last longer. They stop asking who else is out there. They start asking who is listening. They realize that space does not forget. It only delays consequences. Signals travel outward without control. Once sent, they cannot be recalled. Every message is a risk. Every broadcast is exposure. At first, nothing happens. Then, something notices. And noticing is enough. Civilizations do not need to be attacked to disappear. Sometimes they only need to be disrupted. Sometimes they collapse under their own reactions. Technology accelerates faster than understanding. Understanding always arrives late. Power grows before responsibility. Responsibility grows only after damage. By then, the lesson is already written. Some civilizations learn it too late. Others learn it just in time. Those that learn early grow quiet. They reduce their footprint. They simplify their presence. They blend in. They stop expanding. They stop shining. They stop announcing progress. From the outside, they vanish. From the inside, they endure. They measure success in time, not visibility. They value continuity over dominance. They prefer survival over legacy. They trade glory for longevity. The universe rewards this trade not with safety, but with time. And time is the rarest resource of all. Given enough time, even threats disappear. Given enough noise, even safety collapses. Silence buys time. Time buys adaptation. Adaptation buys survival. This pattern repeats across cosmic history again and again, until silence becomes the default, until noise becomes the anomaly, until speaking feels reckless, until listening feels wise. In such a universe, emptiness is an illusion. Quiet is not absence. Quiet is experience. Quiet is memory. Quiet is restraint. And restraint may be the final form of intelligence. So when we look into the night sky and hear nothing, we should be careful how we interpret that silence. Silence is not always emptiness. Silence is not always absence. Sometimes silence is information. Sometimes it is the only warning you get. And maybe the most dangerous assumption we can make is that silence means safety. And maybe the real question isn't whether the universe is silent, but whether we are mature enough to understand why.